I felt like God was saying, why don't you do something?
A pastor reaches outside the walls of his church.
God didn't just call us to come to church, but He called us to be the church and to love the community that God's placed us into.
And finds a great need.
We show up and they come running to receive a good dinner. We average probably between 100 and 300 people at a time.
See how he spreads a little holiday cheer year-round. Plus, pastor and worship leader William McDowell shares how God is moving through revival and miracles, all on today's 700 Club Interactive. Well, welcome to the show. Here's Ephraim Graham with this week's top 5 stories from Studio 5.
At number 5. Best wishes to recording artist Brianna Babineau.
I proposed to Brianna in a bakery.
She and guitarist Keyslan are getting married, and they're sharing a bit of their love story with fans.
We went to one of my favorite dessert shop places in Lafayette. I was looking through the display, and on the tres leche cake, it was, "Will you marry me, Brie?" It was the best because it was the most thoughtful thing that he could have ever done for me.
Studio 5 side note. Brie was dubbed the Justin Bieber of gospel music after being discovered on YouTube. She can now count the Biebs as one of her music fans. He just shared her home video on Instagram writing, "Wow, wow, wow." At number 4, it sounds like a page ripped from the comic books. That's the movie, but this is reality in Paris.
An immigrant from Mali is being called a real-life Spider-Man after he rescued a child dangling from a balcony. Look at this. You can see Mamoudou Gassama, that's his name, scaling 4 floors, pulling himself up from balcony to balcony until he makes it to the 4-year-old and pulls him to safety from midair.
The 22-year-old arrived in Paris from Mali just a few months ago and says God helped him to save the baby. He met France's president this week and was awarded French citizenship and a job with the Paris Fire Brigade.
I ran and I thought of ways to save him, and thank God I scaled the front of the building to that balcony.
At number 3, the K-Love Fan Awards are out.
Now it's time for the Female Artist of the Year nominations. Ladies and gentlemen, the nominees this year: Jasmine Murray,
yes!
Kim Walker-Smith, Lauren
Daigle.
Okay, they didn't put her last name. A woman who needs no last name.
Hilarious.
Mandisa is nominated this year. Give me a hug.
And the winner is...
letting go of every single dream.
Congratulations to Lauren Daigle. See the full award show Thursday on TBN. At number 2.
Much respect to the Houston Rockets for, just bringing the best out of us.
It's Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, 2 vocal men of faith, helping to lead the Golden State Warriors to their 4th straight championship against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
But I'm glad we're going back. I'm excited that we got this opportunity and looking forward to taking advantage of it.
It came down to Game 7 in the Western Finals, with everything at stake, and the Warriors away from home court.
They say 2 basketballs can fit inside the hoop at one time. That's kind of how big they are, and for some reason I couldn't figure it out. And then eventually kept shooting the same shots and they go in. So it sound like a broken record, but I never lose confidence in myself. Almost have a sense of like amnesia. When you get out there, if you have a shot, take it. Don't even worry about what's happened up until that point.
At number 1.
Helping people see each other fully, completely, respectfully.
Rapper Common lent his voice to the unconscious racial bias training video and curriculum Starbucks employees saw this week.
The events in Philadelphia prompted us to bring 8,000 stores and 175,000 partners together on 529, because that is not who we aspire to be.
It's not just a black people thing. This is a people thing. And that's exactly what we want to see out of this, and that's true change.
We realize that 4 hours of training is not going to solve racial inequity in America or anyone coming into our stores that may have a problem, but we have to start the conversation. We've also said that we are deeply committed to this being a long-term journey in which we are going to integrate this training not only in every Starbucks store from this point on, but also the onboarding of 100,000 new people a year.
Well, Ephraim's here, and we're going to talk about racial reconciliation. What do you think about Starbucks closing? Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it was a good idea because it at least got the country talking from the moment that incident happened and they decided to take action up until this point, even when they closed for 4 hours this week. Even people who said, well, 4 hours isn't enough. Is that really going to solve anything? It was the fact that they took action. They lost millions of dollars in coffee sales as a result of that, but they felt it was that important. And it was good to see. I've watched, following that closing, just people's reaction and their employees' response to what they saw. And many of them saying, you know, I had no idea what my colleague was going through. I am really, I'm sorry that I was blind to it. I didn't know that that was their experience. So it was eye-opening for them. And they said it definitely started a conversation, a dialogue among them. And this is going to be a part of Starbucks' regular training as they bring in thousands of new employees. This is now a part of what they're going to be training and teaching their employees. And to have that conversation, it's got to be a good thing. I mean, we saw the conversation in our country go from Starbucks closing for 4 hours to ABC canceling a show because its star, Roseanne Barr, tweets a racist comment. So it's obviously still an issue in this country, so we've got to continue to talk about it.
Well, you keep saying the word conversation. Why is it so important to have the conversation?
Because if we don't talk to each other, you never truly fully understand the other person's experience. I mean, I can think of people in my own life and my family's life and friends who they don't mean any harm. They don't even realize that what they said could be viewed as offensive. I'll give you one example. I'm a journalist. I'm on television. I talk for a living. So I'm sitting in a mixed company at my dining table and someone says to me, "You're so articulate." And I go, "That's really not a compliment." And like, "What do you mean?" It's like, no, because any other person you likely wouldn't say that to, because what do I do for a living? It would be to say to a doctor, you're good at medicine. No, that's my job. Really skilled with your hands. So why somebody could view that as offensive, because why would you say that to me? You wouldn't say that to anybody else. You expect less of me? I would expect my child to be articulate. That's a standard. That's not something I've achieved. I do. I do.
That people are surprised?
Yes, that I would find that, like, that's not a compliment for you to say that I'm articulate, because
it's a back end.
Yeah, it is. They meant it as it, but they don't realize.
Understand that underneath that is an underlying assumption.
Yes,
that when you first, you're not going to.
Right, absolutely.
And so when you are, it's, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Does this reinforce that our perceptions are flawed?
Absolutely. Yeah, they very much are. And we all have shortcuts. I know we like to categorize and understand and make a quick assessment about someone, but to really fully understand someone, you've got to do more than just make that quick assessment. We all do it. I'm guilty of it. I remember when I taught journalism, I told my students that as a journalist, I don't believe that anyone is objective. And they look at me like, huh? I said, no one is. We all come to the table with bias. What I want you as students...
Most journalism schools will teach that there is such a thing as objective journalism.
And that can't be. You would have to not be human. You have feelings, you have thoughts, you're in this world. We all have a bias of some sort. Yeah, figure out what yours is.
Bias. There's a time in the world bias. There's what's surrounding you culturally bias.
Yes.
But try to tell that to New York, and they won't.
I lived there a long time.
We're the city of enlightenment. We have everything, and they don't realize that, well...
We all got it.
They have a bias against New Jersey.
Yes.
Do you think, Roseanne, when she made that tweet, that she thinks she's a racist?
I don't think she thinks she's a racist. I don't think she thought that when she tweeted that. She now blames it on a sleeping drug. She says that she had taken Ambien, and that's what allowed it to come out.
I'll quote an old Latin phrase, vino veritas. Wine makes you honest, that what comes out when you're impaired is actually truth.
Yeah, I believe there is some level of truth to what she said, and my heart aches that she would even think that in a drunken state, in a drug-induced state, there is an issue, there is a problem.
Do we have to get to a new definition of racism? I mean, we've gone from just 50 years ago, 70 years ago, lynchings, the Jim Crow laws, the segregation laws, all of those being dramatically reinforced and enforced by government, by the police. And so in our minds, do we think of that as racism when a tweet, do we need to adjust our scale?
Yes, I think we do, because if we don't, it's easy for someone then to say, I'm not a racist, I don't have a problem, because I'm not sending a tweet like that. I'm not
I'm not surprised you're
yes, I'm not surprised that you can speak. But yeah, so we do to really adjust with where we are right now in this country. We want to get to the bottom of the
conversation. Here's something that I'm not hearing, but I know Virginia history. And 1619 was called the Red Letter Year for two reasons. One, women finally came, and two, slaves came.
Yeah.
It was the first entry of slaves into the United States. Do you think, as part of the conversation, we need to recognize 400 years of oppression? The slaves still need to be freed.
Absolutely.
Should we expect that 400-year history to change with a 4-hour session at Starbucks? What's going to be needed to truly change as a culture?
Continuing to talk, for sure. And I do think that if we were to alter the definition of what it is, that's certainly important. But to understand that we're not going to erase all these years of oppression in a matter of hours, but also my grandmother, 99, would say to me and say with others, this is still a spiritual battle.
Yes.
This is still a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
And we keep failing to recognize that it's even deeper than, just what you can see. And I think we've got to recognize that also, that this isn't just a physical battle or face-to-face fight. It is a spiritual battle we've got to deal with.
And I've been privileged with a lot of travel, so I've seen racism in other cultures, and whether that's China or India or the Philippines or Indonesia, it gets very deep. And it's regardless of culture, it's regardless of slavery. It is very deep that we want to make us versus them. We want to divide on issues like eye color and different kinds of hair, different languages, and we want to either consider ourselves superior or the other, that it reinforces, well, I really am inferior. I mean, there's two sides to it.
Absolutely.
And it just seems to be something that is a spiritual battle. And it's one of the greatest liberating statements ever made. The Apostle Paul said, in Christ, there's neither Jew nor Greek, male nor female, slave or free, and we're all one.
Amen.
And that is something that I'm not sure we're ever really going to get a clear picture of until we're before that throne. And it's going to be every nation, every tribe, every tongue, all together worshiping.
Absolutely.
And that, all right.
Amen.
Well, he's got some entertainment news on a weekly show, but if you want to know more about Ephraim's opinions, you can go to Studio 5. You can watch it at cbn.com/Studio 5. And Ephraim, you'll be back next week.
See you next week.
Send your tweets to Ephraim. Coming up, an Alabama church is serving up hope.
Sin, you'll hear a need wherever you go, and you just try to fill that.
See how they fill those needs with the help of an old beat-up truck. You don't want to miss it. That's up next. When Pastor Thomas Martin saw an old Salvation Army food truck for sale, he saw more than just a beat-up old truck. Pastor Thomas saw a new way to serve hope to the local community.
Like any good pastor, Thomas Martin has a heart for his community.
One way or another, we'll come get you this coming up Sunday morning.
Okay. And it's something he shares with his church.
We're from Hope House Church, and we just wanted to bless your community with dinner tonight.
From yard work to minor maintenance, he and his church are always looking for ways to serve.
God didn't just call us to come to church, but He called us to be the church and to love the community that God's placed us into. And a big part of what that is, that God's given onto our plate, is the food truck ministry that we find ourselves in now.
You heard him right, a food truck. It started when a friend told Pastor Martin about an old rusty food truck he was selling.
Truthfully, it was pretty rough.
But a new way to feed the community was born.
I felt like God was saying, why don't you do something? And all of a sudden, David said, well, Thomas, why don't you do something? I could feel the sense that Holy Spirit was still leading me and guiding me to say, this is right.
His little church caught the vision too and raised $15,000 in 1 week, enough to buy and fix the truck.
We began to equip the truck and put in appliances and clean it up. The truck is awesome. It has a 6-burner stove and a big commercial oven, a flat top. We show up and they come running to receive a good dinner. We average probably between 100 and 300 people at a time. But you can only fix so much food at one time.
So Pastor Martin plans on renovating part of their new church, a recently purchased 60-year-old warehouse for food truck prep.
We need a big commercial kitchen and prep area that we can fix bulk food, put it in the warmer pans, put it in the warmer drawers on our food truck, and then go out in the community and then serve hot food plated one plate at a time for the people. We have a heart to open up a true soup kitchen, to be opened up different days of the week to serve food straight out of the church as an extension of what we do. Our heart is to be able to feed and love this community.
It's a pleasure to us to have y'all come to.
Right.
It's just wonderful and we love it. Thank you.
And the food truck had an unexpected effect.
As we begin to serve and begin to do this ministry, other churches in our area have stepped up and said, hey, we can help you with this. I love the concept of going out, reaching out in the community, other churches, and just teaming up with them to do ministry.
If you listen, you'll hear a need wherever you go, and you just try to fill that.
Help your fellow man. I do believe that's one of the main first reasons for being here on the earth.
There are a lot of people, not only in Jasper, Alabama, but all over the place that are living in a life that truly is hope deferred. They really can't see that tomorrow will be a better day. But I can tell you for sure that when that truck pulls up into an area where some people are really needy, and we flip down that counter and the smells of hot food begin to go out those windows, I believe that somehow we're making them understand that there is hope for me. Someone loved me, someone saw me, someone was willing to drive up here and pull up this truck in my driveway and show the love of Christ to me.
Serving up Christ's love to Jasper with a side of hope.
That is a wonderful thing, and what a wonderful lesson. Be the church. Don't think the church is some building, it's you. Well, you can find out more about the food truck by going to lowsandfishfoodtruck.com. Still to come, hear how one pastor's 20-year cry for miracles and revival is coming true. Pastor and worship leader William McDowell joins us live right after this. Well, for the past 2 years, people have flocked to Deeper Fellowship Church in Orlando, Florida, often standing in line outside just to get in the door. All because, as Pastor William McDowell says, it's happening. Take a look.
William McDowell is a world-renowned worship leader, the pastor of Deeper Fellowship Church in Orlando, Florida. Since May of 2016, his church has been experiencing a tremendous move of God. Miracles are being witnessed and God's presence is being felt. He says revival is not a thing of the past, it's a reality. In his book, It's Happening, William shares biblical truths about experiencing revival and God's presence, and offers ways we can have a deeper fellowship with God and one another.
Well, joining me now is pastor and Grammy-nominated worship leader William McDowell, and it's a pleasure to have you here, Pastor.
It's a pleasure to be here, honored.
God had to really twist your arm to get you to be a pastor. I mean, he really had to come after you.
He did. He really, I almost say he embarrassed me into it. I was actually sitting in a conference when the Lord said to me, "Why are you ignoring me?" And I responded, "I'm not." And then he said to me again, "Why are you ignoring me?" I said, "I'm not." And then the person sitting next to me tapped me and said, "I know this may sound like a weird question, but the Lord just told me to ask you why you're ignoring him." And my stubborn self, I said, "I'm not," but I knew exactly what he was saying, exactly what he was calling me to.
What were you ignoring?
Well, really, I did not think that the Lord was calling me to be a lead pastor, to plant a church. I was pretty comfortable. You say why?
Yeah.
Really, because over the course of my life, I'd been a support person. The Lord had been using me in the area of worship quite a bit. I'd traveled to nearly 50 countries, leading worship around the world. And so I really kind of thought that was the area that God was going to use my life.
You were comfortable there?
I was very comfortable. And the Lord was not going to allow me to stay in comfort. He means it. When we say our life doesn't belong to us, he means that. He takes that seriously.
Did you have a vision of yourself that you were a support person or a lead person?
Interestingly enough, I think I fought any idea of lead person. The Lord has shown me quite some time ago some things that he wanted me to do, but I just kind of resisted that portion of what I saw, just thinking that I wasn't going to be that. But, ultimately, if I look back over the arc of my life, of course, I knew that intuitively. I just think that there was a part of me that just didn't want to.
Yeah. I think your story actually has a universal. I think God calls a lot of people, and a lot of people kind of ignore that or push it away.
Sure.
God had to get real persistent with you.
He did, and I'm grateful that he did, because if he had not done that, I wouldn't be seeing nearly the things that I'm seeing now. The interesting thing about when you say, talking about that obedience and people saying no, years ago I had a dream. This is before the Lord started really using me the way that he is now. I saw the same service twice. I went through the whole service. Looked like God was moving, and I remember coming off of the platform in that service in my dream saying, "Wow, that was absolutely amazing." And the Lord said, now let me go back and show you what would have happened had you said fully yes, had you fully surrendered. And the move of God that took place in the second part of the dream was far greater than the first part of the dream. And that caused me to understand that there are some levels of resistance that people have that keep them from seeing the fullness of what God wants to do.
Why is that so important for revival? Because I've actually been in services where I know there is so much more, but for whatever reason, there are limits start to happen, and you walk away a little frustrated.
There's a level of surrender that needs to take place, and that surrender relinquishes control. Whenever men try to control what God is doing, we see limits on what he wants to do, so there's a level of surrender that needs to take place. And we see that Jesus, the scripture talks about him and says the same spirit that raised Christ Jesus from the dead now lives in us, which means that since he was fully God and fully man at the same time, that means in order for him to see the things that he was seeing also meant that he was the most surrendered man that ever lived. And so I think that there's a level of brokenness and surrender that every person has to have if they're going to see revival. Otherwise, we become the limiter or the limitation for the more that God wants. He always wants to do more, and it's a matter of our level of surrender.
And you're yielded. I mean, I can just tell it in you.
Yes, sir.
You're yielded.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you? Sometimes I think one of the reasons leaders of churches or leaders of meetings try to bring things under control is they're afraid.
Absolutely.
And afraid that it's going to get unruly. What would you tell them?
Well, revival is messy. Moves of God are messy. There's a friend of mine that makes a statement: you can either have your deliverance or your dignity, but you can't have both at the same time. And I think there is this level of if we are in control of every aspect of the service, that means that he's not. And so there has to be a yielding at some point. I'm sure that, and when you see this quite a bit throughout scriptures for those who received a miraculous touch from the Lord according to their faith, whether it be the woman with the issue of blood who deliberately touched him, or Bartimaeus who cried out despite the people telling him to be quiet, or the Syrophoenician woman who didn't take no as an answer, or you look at all these different things, or the man that Jesus spit on the ground and created mud and to create eyes. What you see is that these are not controllable, nice packaged moments, but they are moments of interruption that take place. And if we're going to see a divine interruption, there has to be something on the inside of us, a desperation that pushes past our comfort zone, pushes past where we normally like to stop. And when we become desperate enough for him, we relinquish all control. And at that point, we see him do things that are beyond what we could ever imagine.
How do you fight through I think people get very comfortable with ritual. And so they go to perform the ritual and feel good that they've performed, what they consider a duty. And instead of having an encounter, they do the ritual. How do you avoid having it turn into ritual?
Well, there's a few things with that. This is so great. I'm enjoying this. There are a few things that I think are key. If you look at Psalm chapter 50, or the division of Psalm 50, you see this indictment that God has where people are ritualistically giving him worship because that's what they think he wants, rather than tying that to repentance or allowing it to be something that's true and pure from the heart. He's not interested in ritual. And I think that once we recognize that that's not what he's interested in, we'll stop offering it. That's key. I think the second thing is what the Lord is doing in this season is he's stirring something I call righteous envy. Righteous envy is when he does something in a people, for a people, or through someone to cause you to cry out for the thing he wants you to have. That is significant because God wants to release some things, but what he will do is he will show you him doing something somewhere else to make you say, I want that. Now, the other interesting thing that the Lord will do, I think, that breaks ritual, if you look at, and it's not necessarily ritual, but God is also doing this too. If you look at Peninnah and Hannah, of course, God wanted something. God wanted a prophet. Hannah wanted a son. So he raised up Peninnah to provoke her, to cause her to cry out for the thing he wanted her to have.
There's a lot more here. If you want to learn more, the book is called It's Happening, A Generation is Crying Out. Heavens responded. William, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your church. It's wonderful. God bless you. We'll see you again tomorrow.